Yates Show, the Cliff Yates channel. I'm glad you're here. And I love to go live in the vertical format of YouTube for a couple of different reasons. First of all, it's raw and real, everybody. And that's the most attractive thing that we have going for us today. We're looking for realism, realistic posting from people who are not AI generated. They're actually real live people. And what I really crave, and I find that a lot of people are craving for, is authenticity, right? What the hell's that? That means people who are being real. We're not so much interested now in content that's overly produced, right? It's like food that's overly processed, right? It's not good for you. So, content is overly produced. It's too perfectly edited with music and cuts and everything else. And then together with AI generated content, we never know what the hell is real and what's fake. And one thing we don't like to be is deceived. Now, some AI stuff I like because it is, it's entertaining. It's funny, but we know it's AI generated, and we are entertained by it, and we like to be entertained. We need a good laugh, and we like a good laugh. But to be deceived when they take people and they put words in their mouth, specifically politicians or people of authority or people that we're looking to for maybe news or information, and then it's faked. We don't like to be faked out, lied to, deceived, and that's really what it is, being lied to. So I'm glad you're here. If you're just coming across my channel, it's everything self-improvement, personal growth, how we can get better today in every way than we were yesterday. And that's really the best we can do. I want to improve on today. I want to get better today. Because if I start with today, that's going to lead to a week. That's going to lead to a month. Next thing you know, we got a good season. We got a good year. And that's the only way we can start to have a good year and a good life, is to reverse engineer it back to where we are today. What's the next best step I can take? Hey, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for checking into the channel. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'm glad you're here. I am in upstate New York. 3 days of traveling from sunny Florida. 86 degrees when I left on Wednesday, and right now it's 42 degrees here in upstate New York. So shame on me for complaining about the heat when I left Florida. Hey everybody, French red wine. I don't know, but I love it. I actually had some barefoot Merlot last night, everybody. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, all things positivity, personal growth, self-improvement, how we can get better today than we did yesterday. So glad you're here. I'm stopping in at my mom's house in upstate New York, near Rochester, New York. Let me know if you know where that terrible place is. No, it's okay. And she fell, had an injury, so I'm going to nurse her back to health for this week. Then I head to my private island and get ready for the summertime. So glad you're here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It's a community of progress. That's what I'm building here. A little bit every day, in every way, we're getting better. And that's the kind of things that I share. Those are the kind of things that I concentrate on, that I try to learn more about, because 35 years ago, I know that I changed, and when I changed, everything changed for me, and then I got hooked. I got hooked. How much better can I get? How much more can I achieve? How much more can I become? Not really to get. As Jim Rohn said many years ago, set a goal to make $1 million, not for the money, but for what you will become in achieving it. And I'm reminded here in upstate New York, to my hometown of Caledonia, New York, small little village in upstate New York. I'm reminded, creating content is not new for me. Let me tell you something. When I was 16 years old, 52 years ago, and I was right here in this driveway filming with my dad's Super 8 movie camera. And I just loved making those movies, getting my neighbors and friends together and creating scenes. And then I would take that down and have it developed. Like a week later, I would get that film back, filmed. And then I would load it in the projector. And then I would show it to my family and friends for entertainment purposes. Look what we created. That was before there was any editing software. You couldn't just develop something instantaneously. And like I said, I was showing it to my neighbors, my mom and dad, and my friends who I made the movies with. And now you can turn a camera on and broadcast to the world simultaneously. Last week, I was broadcasting. I connected with somebody from Germany. There was somebody from Italy. And there was another country I don't remember. But the point is, never been a greater time to be alive, no matter what you're involved in. I don't care if it's creation, you're a writer, you are a creator. Concentrate on not managing your life, but being a creator. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm passing on to you. So glad you're here. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate you. Showing you encouragement for sure. Thanks for checking in. I'm actually heading down to the gym. So I took 3 days off from exercising, right? Well needed rest. You can't really call it a rest day. It's really recovery, right? Because I get in the gym and I push it. I push it pretty hard. And if you do that, you're going to need time to recover. Your body's going to want to build up for the next load that you're going to demand of it. And that's really how you develop muscles and you develop strength. And we want to maintain our strength in later years. Now, I'm still very, very young. I'm only 68. Yes, I've gained 68 years of wisdom and experience that I want to share with you. But vigor wise, energy wise, ambition wise, I'm only 29 years old, everybody. And that's a great feeling to be 29 with energy, vigor, ambition, and setting goals. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I know people jump in and out of the shorts feed when they see my live feed in the vertical mode. And that's part of being a creator. You got to learn the little ins and outs of how YouTube works and how to best optimize your videos, how to do shorts and how to do longs. And I encourage you, if you don't have a YouTube channel, I encourage you to start one. Now, you don't have to make it public. Keep it private. Leave it as a legacy for your kids and grandkids, right? The people that you're going to be in their hearts and minds long after you're gone. And can you imagine if we could look back right now and see videos of our great-great-grandparents or our grandparents? I mean, that would be so wonderful to see them talking to us on video. And now we have the opportunity to leave that for our kids and our grandkids. So let's take advantage of doing that. And I'm telling you right now, there's going to be no greater joy. But let's take a drive down to the gym. We're going to CalFit here in Caledonia, New York, upstate New York. Let me know where you're from. How's the temperature there? I'm missing my sunny Florida weather. When I left, it was 84 degrees, everybody. 84 degrees. No longer. 43 right now. And I'm hoping we get up to 45 degrees this balmy Saturday. Hey, happy Saturday to you, everybody. All my stuff, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. All my content is going to be based on, self-improvement, claiming our own personal power. Believe me, that's going to help us in all areas of our life. Everything affects everything else. One of the key concepts that I try to focus on all the time, because sometimes I forget, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I try to do, you know what? Let me do this to the thorough job that I can do. If I'm doing dishes, how can I be the most thorough and do the best job? Because how I do dishes, how I make my bed in the morning, how I work out in the gym, see, everything affects everything else. We're not going to be disciplined and ambitious in one area of our life, and then we're not going to be lazy and a sloth in another area. How we do one thing is how we do everything. But hey, if I can encourage you, if I can motivate you in any way, if I can inspire you, because really it's all about self-motivation. We can't really motivate anybody else. We can be a model for ideas and principles and values, but it really comes down to self-motivation. A lot of people I follow, like Mel Robbins, Ed Milet, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, all these people in the self-improvement field, and they all, they have that same message, right? Nobody's coming. No one's going to show up. No one's knocking at the door. No one's going to come get you to take you to the gym. You're going to have to get your ass up and you're going to have to go. Hey, now this isn't for everybody. Believe me, you can feed everybody all the information that you want. You can lead them to water, but they're not going to drink it unless they want to. But that's all right. That's a personal choice. I feel that we should always be in a state of joyful dissatisfaction. In other words, I'm very joyful and grateful for everything I have in my life, but I'm still wanting to keep striving for more, to become better. That's something that's been placed in us by our Creator. We're always going to have that drive for expansion and expression. Expansion and expression. And that's a great place to be in. And when you know that, you're going to realize, okay, I'm setting on my journey towards whatever goal or goals I'm after. I may achieve them, I may not achieve them. But even if I do achieve those goals, that celebration that I'm going to take, I'm going to celebrate my wins. That's not going to last forever. That feeling is going to fade. And then I got to set a new journey. I got to set a new task of ambitions and goals. It's going to be never ending. And by being in that state of mind, you're going to have the most likely outcome of longevity and life fulfilling satisfaction. Because really, it's about fulfillment. And if you're making progress towards a worthy goal, you're going to feel more fulfilled. And fulfillment is going to be more important than success. And happiness is going to be a byproduct of you striving somewhere. And one thing that we have is the choice of how we think. Thinking is a choice that we have. And thinking leads to visualization. When we think, we create pictures in our head of something in the future that we want to go towards. And when we do that, it creates a vibration in us. And that's what becomes magnetized. And that's why the law of attraction gets put in place by us personally. The law of attraction is preceded by the law of vibration. You know it already because you're not only a transmitter, you're a receiver. You've been in a room when people walked in that room, and based on their vibration, you've taken it in. You felt it. Somebody comes in with a negative vibration and you're of a positive vibration. You're of those higher frequencies. You're going to be repelled by them automatically. I don't know why I want to get away from this person. I don't want to be around them. Why? They're on a different vibration and you sense it. You are a receiver. If you haven't, I'm sure you've already experienced this either on both ends, right? If someone is behind you and they stare at you intensely, they're staring at you. You actually receive that. You feel it. You actually might turn around. Maybe you just out of accident, you've been looking at somebody based on what they're wearing, or maybe you think you recognize them, but you're focusing on them very intently with your focus. And they actually feel that. All of a sudden, they turn around and look at you. Why? Because they felt it. They actually felt your focused gaze. And when your gaze is focused, when your attention is focused, where focus goes, energy flows. That's why we need to control all the time what the hell we're focused on. And that's one of the keys to changing your state of mind. It's really everything that we achieve or accomplish or how we feel is going to be based on our focus and our state. And sometimes when we get into a negative state, sometimes it's the result of some kind of outside influence or something that's been remembered or activated because it's been anchored in us. And then all of a sudden, we don't know why we're sad, but maybe it's something that we've linked to some memory in the past. And maybe we're feeling sad for a good reason based on a certain memory. But we have the power to change our state, right? You know how to do that. I love talking about it because it reminds me how to change my state when I need to. First of all, change your physiology, how you're moving your body. 1, change your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. 3, what you're saying to yourself, that self-talk. So important for changing our state. It's all going to come down to a state. Hey, I'm glad you're here, everybody. Thanks for checking in. I know people are jumping in and out of the shorts feed. I have thousands jumping in, thousands going out. It's a wave and window of people, and I really appreciate connecting with you. Of course, number one, the best way to connect with somebody is personally, right? One-on-one, across the table, coffee shop, at home, coffee table, kitchen table. One-on-one, eye to eye. There's no better way to connect with somebody, face-to-face, in person. And we're finding out how much value that is. Even if you're getting back in the dating pool, forget the apps. We want to get one-on-one in front of people, see the real person in front of us. But the second best way is really using the technology we have available to us, right? Isn't that amazing that I can FaceTime somebody halfway around the world in real time. I can show them a video. This is where I am. I'm in Rome. Look at these. There's the Colosseum. And I can actually connect with a relative, maybe who can't get outside. Maybe he's not too mobile. But you know what? Through technology, if we use it in the proper way, it can be a great thing. Obviously, there are going to be those who use it in a negative way, and they're going to have a negative impact on the people in their life and on the world in general. But you and I have the possibility, we have the choice to use whatever's at hand in a positive way. All right, everybody, I got to get to my workout. I got to get it done, everybody. I got to get after it. So I appreciate you coming in and coming by. And I'm in my hometown of upstate New York, Caledonia, New York, a village of 3,000 people, everybody. Yep, I grew up with modest beginnings, but I have great ambitions and energy, and I am pursuing myself, being better in every way, every day than I was yesterday. And if I can inspire and encourage someone else, well, then I want to do that, because having a positive impact on somebody else, no greater joy. And if you haven't already experienced that, try that today. As a matter of fact, the best way to help yourself is by helping somebody else. If you all of a sudden turn your focus into helping somebody else, you're going to find out that you've helped yourself more. It's kind of a paradox how that works. A lot of life is polarity, positive, negative. A lot of life is opposites and a paradox. If you choose the hard things, you choose the hard. Getting up early, getting to the gym, that's hard. But when you do the hard things by choice, your life becomes easier. And when you do the easy things by choice, stay in bed, laying under the covers, staying inside, not being too active, then life gets harder. That's the paradox. All right, everybody, I'll tell you right now, I have got to get after it. I will not be distracted, delayed, or derailed from getting my workout in today. I have habituated the habit of exercise, strength training, weight bearing exercises, no matter where I am. All right, everybody, I'll see you in the next video.